Okay, question 27. Now I had to go and check my paper actually because this one is completely unreadable. But it tells us that the perimeter of the pentagon is 306 centimeters. Calculate the value of x. Well, we know what a perimeter is, so we're going to use that fact. So I can say that this x plus 69 plus 48 here plus 2x here plus 81. So all of those added together, that's the perimeter, and they all equal 306. So now we need to do a little bit of simplifying here. Well, we've got an x and then a 2x, so that's going to give me 3x. Okay, we've no calculator, so we need to just be careful with this next bit. So I've got 69 and I've got 48 and 81. Okay, so let's add them up. Well, 1 and 9 is 10 and the 8 gives me 18. 1 and 8 is 9 and 6 and 4 is 10. So that's 198. So what we have done here then is 3x plus 198, and that gives you 306. So 3x plus 198 is 306. Okay, so 3x on its own is equal to, well, we've got to just subtract. So now I've got to do 306 minus, so that was plus, that was adding up over there, remember. So this is minus 198. So 8 from 6 we can't do, we've got a 0 there, so I've got to go off, and I'm going to take this 2 from here, and I'm going to put it into there, and that's going to be a 9, because I'm going to borrow 1 from there. That becomes 6, so 8 from 16 is 8, 9 from 9 is 0, and 1 from 2 is 1, so that leaves me with 108, so 3x is 108. Okay, you can probably do that more quickly or easier than I can. I'm trying to make it clear the method as well. Now 3x is 108. So x is equal to, well, it's 108 divided by 3. So 3 into 10 goes 3 times with 1 remaining. 3 into 18 goes 6 times, so it's 36. So x is equal to 36. Okay, so you can see, you know, there's a lot of marks there. It's a 4-mark question. There's quite a lot of number work going on, so you just need to take care, you know, the adding up, the subtracting, and so on, the dividing. But I guess at the heart of it is ultimately understanding how to use your knowledge of the perimeter, being 306, to work it out. Okay, so the perimeter of the shape is 32 this time. Write down an equation in x. So I've got to write down an equation in x and then solve it to find the value of x. Okay, the first thing I need to consider is this side here. So we don't know the length of this side. Okay, so I know I can see it's again unclear, and apologies for that, it's unclear in the copy, but this is 3x, and I can see that this up here, this side up here, is 2. So this length here has got to be 3x take away 2. So now the perimeter of the shape is 32, so a little bit like the previous question. Okay, we're going to use that to write down our equation. So I just need to make sure that I include everything. So I'll start with my new 3x minus 2. So 3x minus 2, that's added to 2. And I've nearly, tick as I go here because I nearly actually forgot this side here, so I gotta add in that's an x. I think I'm gonna double check. Yeah, that's an x. Okay, and then I gotta add in an x plus 3. This one. Then I'm going to add in the 3x, this one, and that just leaves then this 3 here, and I know that that's the perimeter, so that all adds up to give 32. Now I just need to be careful simplifying this that I don't leave anything out. Okay, so I've got a 3x here, an x, and a 3x. So altogether that's 8x. Now these two minus 2 plus 2, they will cancel each other out. Then I've got a plus 3 and a plus 3, so that's going to give me 8x plus 6. Okay, so I've ticked everything off there. I can just a little tick, so I'll take to see that I've covered everything. So 8x plus 6 is equal to 32. So that's just tidying up a little bit and simplifying. I'm going to bring the plus 6 over to the right hand side. So that's going to give me 8x is equal to 26. Okay. And then x is going to be equal to 26 divided by 8. So yeah, that, I mean, it doesn't tell me how I should write x. So 26 over 8. That's just the top heavy fraction. I guess you can simplify that if you like. That's 3 and 2/8. Alright, yeah, 3 and 2/8, which is, of course, when I simplify further, 3 1/4. You might like the decimal value, but x is 3 1/4. Okay, perfectly fine to say 3.25 if that's what you prefer. But again, quite a typical exam question there, very common. One that gets asked quite regularly. Okay, so this time we're asked to do some factorizing. So that's the opposite of expanding brackets. So we've got to put this back into brackets. So the first one we have is 28 minus 7y. So the factor that's common to each term is 7. So I can take 7 outside the bracket. So inside the bracket then, well, 7 times what gives me 28. So I need to have a 4. 7 4s are 28. And 7 times what gives me minus 7y. Well, the answer is minus y. Okay, you can of course check that by multiplying out that bracket, and you should see that that's the answer that you get. Part 2, p minus pt. Well, common to each term this time is a p. Now, p times what gives you p? Well, the answer there is 1. So the first thing we have inside the bracket is a 1, and then a minus t. Part B, expand the bracket. So 5 times 3 gives me 15. And 5 times minus y, watch the sign, is minus 5y. Expand and simplify, a more difficult question. We've got 2 brackets. Remember the acronym FOIL. That should remind you of the 4 multiplications that need to take place. So the F stands for the first 2 values. So we're going to, where are we now? Let's just try to get this in vision here. Okay, so we're going to have x times x. So that's going to be the first one. So that gives me x squared. The O stands for the outside one. So that's going to be then x here times this positive 1. So that gives me plus x. Okay, so x times 1 gives me plus x. The I stands for the inside term. So that's negative 3 times x, so minus 3x. And then lastly, the L is lastly. Okay, so the last two terms in each bracket, we've got the negative 3 and the plus 1. So when I multiply them, I get minus 3. Okay, of course the question is expand and then to simplify. So to simplify this, well, the only bit that I can simplify are the two x terms in the middle here. So my answer is x squared plus x minus 3x is minus 2x minus 3. Lastly on this page we have an expand question. So p times 4 gives me 4p, and then we have minus p squared times p, so minus p cubed.